In the Knife of Dunwall DLC, you play Dowd, the man who murdered the Empress, and he feels terrible about it. For some reason. He's killed countless people over a near lifetime of being a hired assassin who accepted dark magic powers from the devil, taking money to end lives at the whims of the elites, but this was just a step too far, to which the devil agrees, and pulls him in for a performance review and tells him it certainly was a mistake to kill the Empress. For some reason. He's pretty vague about it, but rest assured you didn't file the right paperwork or something, and so Dowd sets out to absolve himself of his sin. Singular. All the other murders and thievery and chaos he's caused were actually pretty cool and not evil. He just needs to make up for murdering the Empress by getting her child on the throne, so things will be fine forever. The devil gives us the name Delilah to go off, which leads us to a whale slaughterhouse, whose owner has a ship called the Delilah. The workers are currently striking because the owner, Rothwild, is a ruthless oligarch who has his guards stealing time cards as a union-busting tactic. Unfortunately, we can't kill these clearly evil people because we're going for the good ending. We find a note lying around that shows the owners think it's nonsense to suggest mass farming whales will disrupt the natural order. We also find a note that explains they cut parts of the whale off bit by bit while they're still alive. Can't kill these clearly evil people though. Good ending, remember. Be a good person. Rothwild is trying to get information out of the union leader, Abigail, but he's not using torture, so she's not talking. Thankfully we know better, so we knock him out and shock the info we want out of him. Abigail is actually a stooge for the elite, and was meant to get the workers striking and then blow up the slaughterhouse. Hell yeah, vive la révolution! Although the other slaughterhouses don't have unions and the workers won't have a choice in what they get paid in the other factories they'll have to move to, but destroying an evil industry? But it doesn't actually destroy it. Oh god, they did it. This is an actual moral quandary that makes it incredibly difficult to keep up this facade that the chaos system is a binary good-bad system rather than a complex morality system that makes you reconsider what good and bad truly are. Oh wait, I know! I'll torture Abigail for more info and convince her not to blow up the factory, or she fled. That makes sense. Why would she hang around when she just saw the notorious assassin who killed the Empress pop in and take someone away for torture? Now she'll just keep waiting for a time to blow up the factory. Made all the easier now that Rothwild is gone because after torturing him, I put him in a shipping crate headed for the furthest reaches of the Empire. But with him gone, maybe the workers will get the factory now? Yeah, let's say that happened. You are a good person. We're not quite done here since we brought an apprentice with us, Billy Lurk, but she's been captured by a bunch of goons. If she weren't story critical, I'd just let her die. And, you know, good ending, no killing. Nothing some sleep darts can't solve though. With that dealt with, Rothwell's torture info has led us to barrister Arnold Timpsch, who uses legal powers to evict families from their homes to claim the property for the clearly evil Lord Regent, based on false accusations of having the plague. The elite really are awful in this world. Good job all the rich people in real life only ever use their powers for good. Anyway, Timpsch is the original owner of the ship named Delilah, so we're going to search his house for clues, make it seem plague-riddled, and swap some documents around so that he gets arrested. Huh. That's good. No notes. Cool. You are a good person. Turns out Timpsch was getting manipulated by a witch named Delilah, for whom he named the ship. She was strong enough to overpower Timpsch's mind, though that probably wasn't too hard since he was preoccupied with being as much of a dick as possible. She also got him to make her sole heir to his estate. Good for her. Gaslight, gatekeep girl, but yeah, good job. We also get to speak to her via statue, and tells her she just wants to be left alone in her manor with her girlfriends. Seems reasonable, but Dowd monologues about how Delilah must be up to something, possibly taking advantage of the power vacuum now that the Empress is dead, who he says was the only thing keeping this city together. Couldn't keep it together enough to prevent her own death, of course. And thinking she was what kept the city together didn't stop him from knocking down that load-bearing wall. He also makes sure to slip in that he's been leading a gang of ruffians and ex-cons as an outreach program, so we feel conflicted about him being old Stabby McGee, the world's greatest stabber. That's just admitting you added to the cycle of death and violence by teaching the young and impressionable the trade of murdering for pay. We get back to our hideout to rest and check in with said ruffians, but it's been overrun with guards, so we have to turn the tides by not killing them. Be nice, you are a good person. But how did they find and infiltrate the hideout? Billy! She's been manipulated by Delilah this whole time, but she's real sorry about it. So we spare her because we're nice now, and she disappears, never to be seen again. This annoys Delilah, who seems to just want chaos and satisfaction from manipulating others, so she leaves without killing us, never to be seen again. Until the next DLC, that is, the Brigmore Witches, which starts with a dream sequence where we totally own Corvo in our fight and he's a flailing idiot. Isn't Dowd just so cool? We wake up from that wet dream and remember we need to get to Brigmore Manor to find Delilah, but it's upriver, so we need a smuggler known as Lizzy Stride, which means we're breaking her out of Coldridge Prison, the very same one Corvo very sneakily exploded his way out of. Thankfully we can take the higher jump skill that turns gravity off and makes getting to her trivial. What the hell, why didn't I take this sooner? Getting her out was a little trickier since she fainted from the overwhelming cool guy aura, so we carry her to safety like the heroic stallion we totally are. Ignored the guards getting executed, ignored the trees that spontaneously spawned in the interrogation room after a woman got beaten with a hammer. Nothing to see there. You are a good person. Lizzy lets us know she lost her ship to mutiny, so after we retake it, she takes a finger from those who rose against her. Not our problem. We didn't kill anyone. What is our problem is that the ship's engine coil was taken while Lizzy was gone, so we need to go to a mill to get it back. But the mill owner, the geezer, says it's down in the sewers and we can't get it back because our guards don't return when going down there. So here's the sewer key to get your coil back if you can survive. And also, please kill me, do it, please. Oh god, I'm being kept alive against my will. Put me out of my misery, do it. Down in the sewers, we find that some witches have taken it over, which is why the mill guards were getting killed when coming down here. Thankfully, we're powered by the devil, so can easily dodge and choke.
I wish he'd hurry up and come already.
Coil in tow, we can go back and either leave the geezer to his fate or kill him. Oh god, please kill me. But we don't want to kill anyone for the good ending. But killing someone in this case relieves them of their pain and suffering. Once again, an actual moral quandary. Neat. But also if he dies it releases a toxic gas immediately, and we have bigger issues to deal with. No! On the way, the devil compliments Dowd on suddenly being so soft-hearted, almost like he wasn't a good guy until I started controlling him. He also says he's suspicious, he's just hoping to redeem himself. Which like, yeah? Why, is the devil a pedantic, no true altruism believer? Pretty sure this guy is just messing with people for shits and giggles. Quite a devilish thing to do. With the engine coil returned, we're able to head upstream and find the manor where the witches are just hanging out, being one with nature, embracing flower power, and living their best lives. I wonder if Dowd's followers would be upset if they learned they could be living in a flower-filled mansion rather than the slums. Dowd, of course, broods and lives in darkness, so we can't be having any of this. The witches have teleport powers, which can add some challenge and suspense, but it's nothing compared to the almighty quick save quick load, so we're able to dole out some equal opportunity chokeholds and accidentally send them to the void. Turns out there's a glitched corner in the manor that disappears any unconscious bodies thrown in there. Unfortunately, this counts as killing them, so we can't do that, despite the fact they all seem to reappear in the backyard to plot their revenge on me. Before you confront Delilah, the devil makes sure to let you know he's been giving you her name over and over to draw you towards her, and will now watch your confrontation with unusual attention. So Dowd went on a magical mystery tour based on a hunch, and the devil saying, "Ooh, mysterious, isn't it? Who's this Delilah person that I'm telling you about? Bet you want to know, don't you?" Meanwhile, the devil is the one giving Delilah powers and getting her to fuck with you. What's his deal? If he wants to hang out, he can just do it. I literally can't stop him. He can pull me into the void and we can just chill for a while. Definitely beats hanging out in the slums some more. Anyway, it turns out Delilah has been using a lantern that opens up a portal to the void. Somehow. And she's been painting pictures capable of accessing the void and swapping souls. Somehow. And she plans to use these powers in a ritual to swap souls with Emily. Somehow. Look, either I stopped paying attention, or these dark powers started to get a little too conveniently malleable to keep the plot going. Also, if she's capable of all this, why doesn't she just go seize the throne? I'm pretty sure it's currently unoccupied. Right of conquest is a thing, and she has the dark magic powers and followers to seize it for herself. But that would be too straightforward, so she's going with making herself substantially more vulnerable by body swapping with a child. She could also swap bodies with the clearly evil Lord Regent, who is the one with actual power at this point in the story. But she has her reasons that she's seen in the void, such as him being a stupid idiot who no one will take seriously, unlike a literal child. Not that any of this matters since we swapped the paintings without Delilah noticing, somehow, so completing the ritual sends her into the void, never to be seen again. Target rescued, Emily. Mission complete. And so we get to see the good ending, where Corvo bests us in combat but agrees to spare our life. The devil says it's a shame Corvo, and no one else for that matter, will know the truth of how awesome you are. By saving Emily's life, you have absolved yourself of your sin, apparently, and can fade into obscurity, never to be seen again. We started out as a hired killer, therefore ending up morally neutral is a win? Yeah, let's go with that. If we're grading on a curve, then you are a good person. They don't know I saved Lady Emily.